Hi everyone and welcome, this is the Apostate Prophet. It is 2019, and in over a dozen countries, it is illegal to stop identifying with the local religion and to renounce it. In a dozen countries, it is punishable with death. In some, it is the law of the country. In others, it is a specific state or region. And in every case, it is Islamic law. In short, these Islamic countries have thought crimes where you can pay fines, be tortured, lose your freedom or your life for making a life decision. It is 2019. That's not all. In fact, in many other countries, besides those in which it is the law, it is a social taboo, unacceptable, extremely unsafe to publicly declare that you don't believe in this religion any longer. And it is almost always, in most Islamic countries, a very terrible idea to go out there and explain why you don't believe in this religion, and to declare what you believe in instead, and why you believe in that. In fact, when you ask the people living in those Islamic countries, among those who think Islamic law should be the law of the state, which is the majority, a huge number of people believe that people should be killed for leaving Islam. Imagine this for a second. You live in Egypt, were born into a Muslim family, you don't believe in it anymore, and 80% of people around you believe that you should be killed for not believing in Islam. In Afghanistan, you are again surrounded by people, 80% of people, who believe you deserve death for no longer identifying with the religion of them and the state. In Pakistan, you are alone, and 6 out of 10 people think you don't deserve to live. Your only crime is thinking for yourself, changing your mind, using your brain, making your own decisions for your own life. Even when it is only 30% or 20% or 10%, 10 out of 100 people believe you need to be killed for being who you are. And when you live in such an environment, silently escape and carry the scars, maybe literally, some people try to tell you that all that was a religion of peace. Why would you hate it? They school you about hate and tolerance, and about what is and is not peaceful. Isn't it very unsurprising that someone who leaves Islam, and who leaves such an environment, ends up hating Islam and what it does to people? Isn't it understandable that such a person wants to go out there and help other people get out of this? But what is the motivation for all those people wanting to kill apostates, and all those states executing people? Is it 1001 Nights? Is it the Lord of the Rings? Is it a piece of divine inspiration that people in Muslim countries magically receive in the womb of their mothers? And that's why they all coincidentally think like that. Is it the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Is it the Jews? No, it is Islam, of course. For 1,400 years, Islamic scholars vastly accepted and ruled that leaving Islam carries a punishment, and that punishment is death. This is the agreed rule in all schools of Sunni Islam, which are Hanafi, Shafi, Hanbali and Maliki, and it is also firmly established in Shia Islam. This law was also in place in the Islamic empires, and has therefore arrived in our time, and become the law of multiple Islamic governments, which are the only ones that have such a law. This entire inhuman mentality goes back to Muhammad. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, said in multiple reports, "Kill those who change their religion." And the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah and that I am his apostle cannot be shed except in 3 cases. In retaliation for murder, a married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse, and the one who reverts from Islam and leaves the Muslims. We find these 2 reports in numerous sources, which is Islamic proof that Muhammad said it. Muhammad's words and reports about him are secondary or equal to the Quran, which is why this ruling has been an Islamic ruling forever, until modernity and human rights started being an obstacle to it. Some sources of our time try to tell us that the death penalty for apostasy was just something to be applied under Islamic empires that actively fight their enemies. But that is just a strategy to talk themselves out of it, because the proponents of such arguments also believe that everyone should convert to Islam, and that if there is a Muslim majority, we should establish Islamic rule. And if Islamic rule is established, then we should spread Islam, which includes creating an empire. And if there is an Islamic empire and Islamic rule, it means kill those who leave Islam. Do we really want such a religion? Some people try to justify the killing of apostates and compare it to how states treat treason. Very bright individuals like Zakir Naik, whose speech is beautiful and magical music to my ears, say things like,
if in the country of India, there's a citizen of India who shares the secret prints of the Indian army with the enemy, the Indian law will say he should be put to death or life imprisonment. This is the same law in America, same in UK for apostasy.
I would love to translate, but I have no idea what he said. But what he basically means is that there is also a treason law in India or America or the UK, comparable to the law of apostasy in Islam. America punishes treason, so it's okay for Islam to kill apostates. But that is a complete false equivalency. Treason is an extremely rare charge today, in America for example, and is applied for heavy stuff like working in important high federal positions, and revealing secrets or working with enemies in ways that would heavily damage the nation or put people in danger. No one is executed for giving up their American citizenship, or for saying, I don't like the laws of the United States anymore. I think they should be changed. I believe in different laws now. Whereas Islam directly executes for disbelieving. Also, even if states did that or do that, how exactly does that absolve Islam? You excuse the atrocities of your good divine religion by comparing it to human states? One more such poor argument that comes from Islamic apologists is the deflection, not really an argument, that Christianity and Judaism have such a law for apostasy too, and that Islam is not alone in this. First off, this just sounds like, well, other people kill minorities too, so why do you care about our minorities? This is also called whataboutism, where you bring up the faults of a different party in order to deflect from your own and free yourself from having to make a defense. Even if Christianity and Judaism had the same law, it wouldn't absolve Islam from guilt. But moreover, Christians and Jews don't kill apostates today, so we will keep talking about Islam. But most importantly, do Christianity and Judaism really have such a rule? Judaism has a biblical order from Torah times to kill those who entice others to worship idols. The punishment here is not for the one who commits apostasy, but for the one who incites apostasy among people. I know that's not much better, but Judaism abolished this law over 1,000 years ago. The Talmud condemns death penalties, although it prescribes them here and there, and biblical laws would only possibly be applied under a proper Jewish state, in a hypothetical case where the Jewish Messiah finally arrives, which I'm personally not worried about. Christianity doesn't have any death penalty at all. It has right or wrong, moral or immoral. The New Testament neither rejects nor advocates the death penalty, but it doesn't prescribe any death penalty for any crime at all. First Christians opposed the death penalty altogether, while later Christians, especially the Roman Empire and other kingdoms and realms, had the death penalty for things they considered right or wrong. Christians don't believe that their religion actively orders the killing of apostates. There is no scriptural basis for that, and no Christian today believes that. In the end, the vast majority among both religious groups agrees that there shouldn't be such a rule. The only religion and religious group we have is Islam and Muslims. If Turkey, the country I left, was ruled by Islamic law, I would be captured upon my return, be held, judged, and executed, without any chance to appeal. Because I left Islam, which is punishable by death. I spoke it out, which is punishable by death. And I spoke against Islam, which is punishable by death. Let's not talk about me. Let's take any random person. Let's say a man in his early 20s, who was before a devout believer, who simply stopped believing in Islam and made it public, as anyone would inherently have the urge to do. If this man returned to or landed in a place that is truly ruled by Islamic law, he would walk among all those people who want him dead. Soon he would be brought in front of a court. He would be asked to repent and return to believing in Islam. He would be asked to believe again, to forcibly believe. And if he rejected that, he would soon be killed, so no one in the public commits the same crime. The crime is changing your mind, not believing in a religion any longer. What a horrible crime. Imagine, Allah wants other flawed humans to kill you for such a natural flaw, for thinking, for not believing, and condemns you then forever. It's funny that some say apostasy itself is not punishable, making it public is punishable. What if we did the same thing with being a Muslim? What if we said being a Muslim itself is not punishable by death as long as you keep it to yourself? But if you make it public and you practice Islam, then you will be judged accordingly and executed simply for being a Muslim. How does that sound to you, to anyone? Shocking? Unthinkable? How does that sound to a Muslim? What would the world do right now if such a law was established anywhere in the world? I would never advocate for such inhumanities, of course. But would you, dear Muslims? It is 2019. Let's be human. Thanks for watching. Most of my videos are not monetized. If you want to support my cause, you can support me on Patreon or on apostateprophet.com. Thank you all so much for your support. I'll be back. Have a great day and stay away from Islam.